What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this one, we have I cycled around the Netherlands again. Twice? You did it once and then you did it again? We finna see what that journey look like. Before we do, if you guys happen to enjoy, please don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Also, if you like to support this channel by becoming a member, all you gotta do is hit the join button to receive exclusive benefits. Let's get to it.
It's been a year, but I am back in the Netherlands, and last time I set out for the better part of a week to see what the country had to offer, be that cycling infrastructure, history, or even the food. While my last trip was a success, I still felt like there was a lot more that I had to see, so I returned for 2 more weeks in the Netherlands. Just 11 months ago, I was here eager to explore this beautiful country on a bike. I spent 6 days riding over 350 kilometers, which saw me through much of Randstad. That's the area including the provinces of South Holland, Utrecht, and parts of North Holland and Flevoland. It's where the majority of the Dutch population lives and where you'll find Amsterdam, The Hague, Rotterdam, and of course, the city of Utrecht. I learned a lot about the way Dutch cities are designed, the way the landscape mostly stays the same, and how truly wonderful it is getting around everywhere on a bike. But of course, there is still so much more to experience, so for this trip, my intention is to knock off all other provinces from my passport. There are 12 in total, 3 of which I visited last year during my bike trip, and Zeeland, which I also visited with some friends a few weeks later. That leaves Friesland, Groningen, Drenthe, Overijssel, Flevoland, Gelderland, North Brabant, and Limburg.
Dang.
So compared to last year, this is going to be a much bigger trip.
You only visited 3 last time and you visited all the other ones this time. Jeez.
By the way, if you haven't seen any of my previous trip, don't worry, every video can be watched individually. There are no prerequisites. But without further ado, this is day 1 of the Netherlands by bike, the sequel.
The sequel. I like that.
My trip begins in Amsterdam, and last year I went west to Haarlem, but this time I am instead heading east, with the day's final destination being Almere, but I will be stopping at a few places along the way. But first thing is first, I'm going to need wheels. Considering that one of the most common questions I got from my last trip was, where did I rent my bike? Might as well hit 2 birds with 1 stone. The answer is A Bike Rental and Tours, who have graciously offered me a bike for this trip. They have multiple locations in Amsterdam, but I am going to their shop located at the edge of Vondel Park because I've heard this is where they have the most stock. To get there, I was able to take a very convenient bus from Schiphol, which is also a great time to point out that even here in the Netherlands, there are a lot of cars. Once I arrived at the bike shop, I had to make a choice. And if you're a novice, you might be overwhelmed with which bike to choose, but it's actually pretty simple. For cruising around town, a city bike will do the trick. Riding between cities like me, a touring bike will be your best bet, as the extra gears make it more versatile for the rare times you find hills or the much more common Dutch hill, wind. It also has suspension, for which your ass will thank you for at the end of long days. But if you really want to go bougie, or perhaps you're on a trip nearing 2 weeks, averaging 60 to 80 kilometers a day, you should consider the e-bike. It's much like the touring bike, but offers a 25 kilometer per hour boost and will take you up to 120 kilometers on a single charge. Considering I said this at the end of my last trip.
120 kilometers on a Jesus, that is very far to be biking. That is a distance. Yeah, but that's all. Yeah, e-bike is where it's at.
Well, I have nothing to truly regret. If I were to do another trip in the Netherlands, I would take an e-bike. Yeah, I'm taking e-bike. You can also rent saddlebags or do what I did, bring your own. And in a few minutes, you'll be cruising the streets of Amsterdam. I don't think I've ever seen that many bikes riding around Amsterdam. That was insane. And I just was so excited. I wanted to just like do a Ric Flair. There's people around, but I have to let it out. I have to let it out. Woo! Hopefully I didn't scare anybody. I feel better. Even watching this video back, just ridiculous. Like, this is rush hour. which
Yeah.
wasn't my plan to be here at this time. My flight was delayed by 4 hours, so
Oh
this was a
wow.
bit of a happy accident. And while I was glad to see these streets at peak times, I still had to get to Almere, which was only 35 kilometers away, but nevertheless, I had to get a move on. I quickly came across my first piece of infrastructure to highlight. This is an award-winning bridge which spans the Amsterdam-Rhine Canal,
Dang.
and it is one of the longest ped cycling bridges in the Netherlands at 780 meters long. It's really windy. I'm happy to put my
Dang.
hat on my head because I'm going to lose it. It's going to be gone into the canal. You don't want that. This really set the tone for the whole trip. I thought, it's just windy today. I'll get a mix. Which I did get, but the mix was only the direction of wind I'd be dealing with every day. This here's a sports park. I think they're playing field hockey. And this is something you don't see at all in
No.
North America. Obviously,
Never. Like this is like literally blowing my mind seeing this. That is definitely something you would never see in the US. Like everybody pulling up to the game on bikes is bonkers to me. Like that's so cool.
like the amount of bikes here is just unbelievable. But as far as like a sports park goes, what comes to my mind is soccer fields,
Yeah,
a hockey rink,
yeah.
and giant parking lots filled with cars. And wouldn't you know, people be like, oh, you can't play ice hockey without, you need a car to bring all your equipment. Well, wouldn't you know, there's a bike, has a bucket on the front that's the size of a hockey bag.
Yeah,
Pretty cool, huh?
yeah, very
As I
cool.
continued, I got to appreciate the landscape, wildlife, and even the housing.
Oh,
What's been
very
shocking to me
nice
already is
house.
just how new everything feels. Because it is. I haven't been here
Look
before.
at it.
I was in Amsterdam, I've been there many times, but as soon as I went east, never been here. And already, look at that. There's a castle. This is Moiderslot. It's only 15 kilometers from the middle of Amsterdam, making it a great choice for a day trip. Built in 1370, it is one of the oldest castles in the Netherlands. Today, it is a national museum open to the public, which has been restored to its 17th century glory. And it's almost like stepping into a time machine. The garden out front is, it's pretty nice too. Sadly, my late start to the day foiled my plans for getting inside, but that just meant I had to ogle a different piece of history nearby. So this is probably one of the coolest things I learned in quite a while. So somebody commented on one of my videos, they told me to check this out, which is Stelling van Amsterdam. The defense line of Amsterdam was constructed between 1880 and 1920 and consists of 45 fortifications stretching 135 kilometers around the city of Amsterdam. Most have this trapezoid shape, however, there are many more to be found, including Fortieland Pampas, visible from here but only reachable by boat. But they are so common that you may go by one and not even realize it, like I did on the first day of my trip last year. Some of the forts are closed completely, some have been retrofitted for different uses, and many are museums run by volunteers, like Fort Andenham, northwest of Amsterdam. Here, the volunteers graciously took me on a tour when it was supposed to be closed for the day. Now, when you typically think of using nature or the natural surroundings to make a defense, you think of maybe during World War II. For example, in Normandy, they used the bluffs to create defensive positions for people who stormed the beaches. Now, the Netherlands doesn't have that. For the most part, it's very, very flat. So they use what they have. They use that flatness, and they use their expertise when it comes to managing water to create a defense network. And that is Stelling van Amsterdam. What makes this defensive network so unique is the fact that it's activated by inundating the lowlands with 12 inches of water. Too shallow for boats, and a mess to trudge through on foot, which would funnel the advancing army into the line of fire from these strategically placed forts. Each was fit for survival, hosting everything a soldier needs: rainwater collection, kitchens, mess, bunks,
Dang.
and even laundry. Unfortunately, by the time Stelling van Amsterdam was ready for action, it was rendered obsolete by the invention of the airplane. It was partially
Dang.
inundated during the Second World War, but
By the time it was ready for action, it was too old at that point, right? It couldn't compete with the airplanes, and now they're not coming straight at us; they're coming above us. So this is kind of useless now. That's tough. That'd be absolutely tough, but that's cool. Like to kind of see as he goes around the Netherlands, like different parts of the Netherlands, like history and just awesome parts. Like it's cool for him to show us and talk about it.
Dutch capitulated before the Germans reached it.
After we surrendered to the Germans, they took over this fort. And they wanted to use the old cannons for their weapon industry. So they melted the steel.
Oh,
they used
wow.
it to build tanks or something like that. But they blew up the foundation. And they didn't figure out that it was French concrete. It's not armored concrete. So they blew up the first foundation, and the first parts of this concrete flew across the fortress to the other side of the road.
Oh,
They said,
my
oh,
day.
we used too much explosives.
Thanks again to the volunteers at Fort Andenham. Before leaving Moyden, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to spot this canal bridge.
That's so dope.
Tunnel. Underpass?
That's fire.
What do you even call this?
I don't
Aqueduct?
know.
Either way, it is just so Dutch.
That's the craziest thing I've ever freaking, like, I've never seen going underwater like that. Like, that's cool.
Similar to the one across the Flevoland, which unfortunately I didn't actually get a chance to see.
That's so fire.
Continuing
So
east, I
awesome.
did my best to just take in the experience.
It's too nice. God,
Yeah,
it's too nice. This
Agreed.
is ridiculous. It's not fair.
At all. At
As you
all.
can see, the sun is beginning to set behind me. I've only been in the Netherlands for maybe two and a half hours, maybe almost 3 hours now. I've had a lot of fun checking out those defenses, but I need to get to my destination, which is Almere. And from where I am right now, it looks like it'll be about 45 minutes.
The e-bike had already been a game changer. Even with the wind, I still had plenty of battery left after 25 kilometers of riding.
I've got some days that are going to be reaching just around 90 kilometers on just the travel in between the cities alone. So we're going to really put this bike to the test.
I passed through Muiderberg, a lovely little town on the water where you could really see how windy it was.
Holy sh! Look at all the kite surfers. Holy oh my god,
That's
there's so
dope.
many.
And also,
That would be so fun. Kite surf. See, stuff like this is so cool. And I know you can kite surf in the U.S., so I know that's not just another thing. But yeah, I can't surf, and I can't take that risk without knowing how to surf. But it does look very, very fun.
a glimpse of my destination. I eventually made it to the Dutch bridge, and yes, that is its name, where I passed my first milestone.
About to lose my hat again, but it's really loud here. Here we go. We're about to cross into our first new province. Did you feel it? We are now in Flevoland.
Hey.
Is that what it is? I don't remember.
Flevoland is the newest province in the Netherlands. Officially established in 1986, nearly all of it sits on land reclaimed from the sea in the 1950s and 60s in what used to be the Zuiderzee, now the freshwater Esselmeer, making it one of the boldest feats of engineering in Dutch history. It is the smallest province by land area, but home to nearly 500,000 people. Lelystad is the capital, but the more populous Almere is my destination. And after crossing the bridge, I encountered one of my all-time favorite features of the Dutch traffic system.
Look at that. It changed. Did I
That's
catch
so
that?
cool.
I hit the thing. I hit the thing and it changed. So cool.
That legit is so freaking, bro. I love the Netherlands innovation. I love the Netherlands infrastructure. Definitely their transport infrastructure. You guys are awesome.
So cool. Love it.
And not just for the convenience on a bike, this is better for everyone.
Yeah.
People get caught up in the debates about whether or not you're breaking the law if you run a red light when no one else is around, when we really should be questioning why you have a red light to wait at in
Agreed.
the first place.
Completely.
Take note,
agree.
North American cities.
This is
Completely.
beautiful. Like, this is so lovely. I love going through nature. I love the winding paths. It feels like you're kind of getting lost in the woods a bit. But the thing is, it's not the most direct route to Almere. That's what I'm finding here. It is very convoluted compared to if you were in a car, much less distance need to travel.
I would later eat my words, but after passing under Highway A6, I made my way to the center of Almere, where I sniffed out something familiar.
There's a smell that most Dutch cities have. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's fast food restaurant, some kind of restaurant or something like that. But it just hit me now as I got to the center of Almere, and it just brought me back.
I like that smell.
So I haven't eaten anything since I was on the plane,
Oh.
which was just a cheese sandwich. It was very lovely. It was
That's
nice.
it?
It was nice,
That's
but
raw.
it didn't hit the spot. You guys know what I want. You guys know what I'm craving. It's not McDonald's. What I'm
I thought he was. I mean, who doesn't like a McDonald's, bro?
craving
I'm a McDonald's
is
fan.
frickin' Del Brugia. We don't have that in Canada.
What is
So,
that?
I need to find me an Albert Heijn at least.
Sadly, no pastries were to be found, so I settled for some fries at a local burger shop before getting some much needed sleep in anticipation for day 2.
That was a great video. Him liking the whole Netherlands is absolutely bonkers in my head, but I love it. I love it. That's all we got. If you guys enjoyed, please don't forget to subscribe, get a bit of thumbs up, check out the next, and I'll see y'all.